This might be a first for me. I am at the El Tour de Tucson. I'm at the expo the day before the race, and I run across my YouTube video is playing at the Velodrome booth, so that's pretty cool. Thanks, guys. This is the pro autograph signing for Bob Roll, George Hincapie, and Bobby Julich, and Christian Van Veld. That is Jens Voigt, sitting next to him, Chloe Dygert, and Leanne Cave, and then Bradley Wiggins at the very end. I got one for my garage. This is signed by all the pros and the saguaro cactus who's walking around over there. I had him sign it too. Good morning, folks. It is Lance freaking Hepler. I am at the El Tour de Tucson. It is about an hour and a half before race go, and there are already dozens and dozens of people that have lined up in the start. Luckily, I have a super secret wristband that gets me to the front of the line, so I'm gonna be a little bit lucky today. So we're gonna roll this race and see what happens today, all right? Let's go for a ride. My battery's dying. I gotta swap it before this thing starts. I might be in trouble. Okay, I got the battery changed. Hopefully that's the worst disaster of the day so far. Check this out. El Tour de Tucson is so big. There were 11,000 riders this year across 4 different distances. Somehow I got stacked up with the there were almost 500 in the Platinum Corral. So the Platinum Corral, you have to be a Cat 1, 2, or have done a previous fast time in order to get into the Platinum Corral. Thank you, Igor. Yes, no problem. I had to change my battery. Oh. Say hello, Igor. Hello. Hello. Hello, Jeff. How are you doing today? Very nice. That was Igor. He was one of my camp mates at the prologue camp that we did. So I did this special El Tour de Tucson prologue camp. You may have seen my other couple videos where we rode with some of the pros over the week before this race. Being part of that camp allowed me to start in the elite corral, which was ahead of the Platinum Corral. So I got to start right up front. I was right on the second row, right next to Lael Wilcox before we started. So that made it very interesting. Now, the biggest thing about El Tour and that people are nervous about is that there are crashes every year, and it's tricky. You have thousands and thousands of cyclists on the road, and they try to break them up into different corrals so that there's not so much, it's not so bunched up. I was in the front with, the first 600 riders, and so my plan for the race, what I hoped was to try to break 4 hours for a 102-mile race. So that's over 25-mile-an-hour average, and that would have been a fantastic goal for me. That was what I was hoping for. But in order to do that, you kind of have to stay with the front group as long as possible. And so the beginning starts fast and furious. We were doing 30 miles an hour down Aviation Highway. But of course, 7 miles in, there's a point where it goes from 3 lanes down to 1. And there was a crash right there just behind the front guys. And I got caught up behind that crash. I didn't crash myself, but I got caught up behind it. Enough that I had to grab brakes and boom, front group gone. So front group gone, that meant, okay, they got away pretty quickly. There was no chance that I was going to close that gap afterwards by myself, because it was all the pros. It was it was all the pros. I'm a 55-year-old man. I'm not closing that gap. They got 5 minutes up the road pretty quick, and so I settled into this second group, and so that was kind of the plan, to settle into the second group. And generally the second selection point is Pistol Hill. This is the beginning of Pistol Hill here, but on the way out there was a block headwind, so the headwind was right in our face. We're going out Old Spanish Trail Road. We take a right turn and we're going up Pistol Hill, but with this group grew in size so much that there really wasn't an opportunity to get away here at Pistol Hill. I thought I would have trouble holding on to this group, but it got so big that, and there was so much headwind coming out to it, that I didn't have trouble staying attached going over Pistol Hill. Once we got over that, there's like 10 miles of downhill where we averaged 38 miles an hour or something without a whole lot of effort. And if you've seen any of my videos, I go downhill fast. I'm a big boy. And so I tried to string it out just a little bit and tried to get away. But, you know, with the group this big and this being a generally flat race, you're just not going to get away. And so I didn't. So it was better for me to just stay with this group. Now, it came to a point where I realized that I was not going to crack that 4-hour mark. There was just too much headwind, too much crosswind. And we weren't making good enough time on some of the flatter sections because of the crosswind. And some of the guys we were riding with on the crosswind, they just were guttering us. So trying to string it out, which I don't mind. So what I did is, this gal right on the left of me, you can see the gal racing right there. She is from the town that I live in, Vancouver, Washington. Her name's Christine Holland. She is a great racer. I've raced with her a whole bunch this year. And so I kind of decided midway through the race that I was going to stay with this group, but I was going to do my best to shelter Christine and help her as much as I could to the very end of the race. She can generally be in the top 10 of overall females, even though she's over 50, and she had a chance to win the 50 plus, the 50 to 59 age group for women. And so I kind of said, Christine, I'm gonna help you. I'm here for you. And that's kind of what I did for the next 40 or 50 miles. I did get to some sections here going along Mission Road where we were stringing it out just a little bit, and there were 7 or 8 guys there who were willing to work with me and try to make a few efforts. The Tucson police did a fantastic job keeping the intersections clear. A little tricky. Look at all this traffic on the right. There were cones for us to go down. We're going in the left lane because we're about to take a left turn from Sayurita back into Tucson. And right before the last 15 miles, I was hoping to, this is mostly downhill and mostly tailwind at this section. It was a crosswind once we made this turn. We'd make this turn, crosswind from here all the way back to Tucson, like 15 miles. And there were some attacks in that section where I was trying to hang on. It got pretty fast and furious. I think I still averaged like 25 miles an hour all the way down this last 15-mile section, even with the crosswind. But I was not able to stay with those front guys. It was in this section where Christine couldn't quite hang on to my wheel, which I was a little bit bummed about. So I tried to stay with a few other guys and just finish as fast as I could. I realized at this point, not going to break 4 hours for sure. And so I was just going to do some work with these guys, and we tried to catch as many guys as we could. I ended up kind of pulling away with just this one guy. We traded a few pulls. You can see I'm sitting just to his left because the crosswind is coming from the right to the left. So we're kind of echeloning each other to give each other a break, and trying to pull some other guys back. That's kind of what we're doing here. So I'm still working pretty hard. I worked pretty hard in this last 15-mile section, but just couldn't quite go there. This is just the last mile of the race, so or even left. We come down back into town, we take a left-hand turn, and the finish line is right there. I had a great day out here. I really quite enjoyed it. I was not sprinting for anything here at the end. I'm not going to sprint for 121st place instead of 123rd place. Didn't make a lick of difference at this point. I actually ended up 123rd out of whatever 5,000 people who did the 100-mile race, and I was 18th out of like 500 in the 50 to 59 age group. So that was a good time. Here was the end. I saw my buddy Gary Allen, who I've been here with all week. We had a little bit of debrief right at the finish line. Always good to see him. He couldn't race with us because he's having some blood sugar issues. And then I saw Spencer Martin. Spencer Martin is the numbers guy that's been on the Move podcast with Lance Armstrong and George Hincapie and Johan O'Neill. We rode together the last 30 or 40 miles. So
that's right.
So this is Christine that I helped. She did end up winning the 50 to 59 women and was 8th overall for women. So good for her. My final numbers, it was 102 miles. I did it just over 4 hours and 9 minutes. Averaged about 24 and a half miles an hour. Then I had lunch with Jens Voigt. Nice to see you, Yenzi. And then I watched some of the podiums for the long course. The winner of the men's race was Stefan Schaefer. He is a Tucson local. His father was actually in hospice and actually passed away during the race. So this was a very emotional day for Schaefer and very good for him. Happy to do that. Afterwards, I was able to have dinner with Gord Fraser and Jimmy Riccatello. And then also Riccatello's son, Matthew Riccatello, who took 5th place at the Vuelta this year. So I had all these phenomenal experiences this week. I pinched myself many times. The people I was able to meet and the times I was able to have. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Tucson, for such a wonderful week. Thank you all for watching, and for all the people who came out and said they watched the show and my channel. I appreciate it.